Hello, hello, and welcome back as I get ready to wrestle the flesh down in the fallen furrows and foul foyers of Perfidious Manor in Darkest Dungeon. Pete, do we really need to be here if you're just gonna jerk it? Well, man, I suppose not really, no. Jerking it's a task I've had mastered since way back in my early teens, but in this one rare scenario, shockingly enough, I'm actually not talking about masturbation. I know, that's definitely the exception as opposed to the rule. It's like having Kelsey Grammer show up at a party and volunteer to be the designated driver. But just this once, I'm talking about a video game. It's the inchoate flesh is the flesh I'm going to be wrestling, not my dong. Though I may wrestle my dong later too in celebration. I don't know, just, I'll maybe just see how it goes. Come up, side left to myself and be like, hey, how you doing? Maybe I'm in the mood, and if I am, me, we're gonna get down. But we've got a golden opportunity here thanks to a helping hand. Oh, it still seems like a masturbation reference somehow. But no, instead we're gonna take some people who don't belong in a low-level dungeon, have them go down there in a low-level dungeon, and punch down at some really weak foes, while simultaneously helping bootstrap a much-needed replacement in the form of Corporal Dwayne Hicks here. It's not only a great value proposition, but we also get a, chance to fulfill one of my friends' lifelong dreams, which is, as a grown-ass adult, go and beat the ever-loving shit out of an 8-year-old black belt with no repercussions. And you're saying, wow, that seems like a scummy thing to do. Does it? Think about it. I think my friend is right. Wouldn't it be hugely satisfying to go up to an 8-year-old he's like, I'm the karate champion of the world. I'm a triple black belt with gold threads, and I'm a 20th level dung master. And then he's 8 years old, so you just walk up and punch him once and drop him like a hot rock because, you're an adult and you can just bear him to the dirt and squash him. It's evil, but you gotta admit, man, would it feel good. It also gives us an opportunity to get rid of Riga Morton's bad humor, so let's just go ahead and do that. Taken care of. So what's the team you're going to use to go and pummel this hypothetical 7-year-old black belt, Pete? Well, it's pretty straightforward. We're going to get a Demon's Cauldron. You know what? Yeah, all right. Demon's Cauldron is not a bad pickup. We don't have one already, do we? I don't think we do. Let's unequip all trinkets and sort these by rarity just to make sure. Okay, we do not. Excellent. This is fantastic. So, what's our team going to be? Well, let's get you guys off board. Hicks, you're still getting tapped, buddy. You're still going on this mission, and I think you're still going to be leading from the front, because the rest of the team is going to be Caitlin Stark, Padme Amidala, and shockingly, we're going to take Henry Blake on this mission and be like, Pete, really? You're going to take the inchoate flesh? You're going to take in a Houndmaster in a second position? Why? Well, I have a plan, and that is actually Houndmasters working out of the second position are pretty good. We are going to need to adjust some skills on old Henry Blake here. He and Radar Riley, if we're going to get him to do some work. What I need is Hound's Harry. And we're going to switch in for Blackjack there so we can get some stuns. The stuns, by and large, are not going to be for the actual inchoate flesh fight, but for the fights leading up to it. So, you have all level 2 skills, Dwayne. That means you're as good as you can get because you are level 2. Equipment. You know what? You need some equipment upgrades here, Dwayne. Let's get that taken care of while we're at it. We're going to the blacksmith. I want everybody going in. I want people to go into a boss fight for once and actually have the opportunity to walk away alive. We've lost someone, I think with the exception of the Necromancer Apprentice, we've lost somebody in every single boss fight that we've tried. Are we going to need... You know what? I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. The heals are useful. Everybody else, are you guys' skills where they need to be? You're sorted. Padme, how are you looking? Padme's good. Padme, you looking good, girl. It's a little known fact. That's actually the line Anakin Skywalker used the first time that he and Padme were reunited after their separation as children. He was like, damn, Padme, you looking good, girl. She was all flattered and got blustered. And she did the most delightfully cute little blush. So, let's go pummel the flesh. And again, no, not a jerking it reference, although it could have been. It could have been. Let's get our trinkets sorted as well before we embark down here. So, Dwayne, what are we going to want to have you do? Well, last time I think we gave you Beast Slayer's Ring. Yeah, that's what we did. We did a Beast Slayer's Ring, which helped you get rid of a bunch, and we are going back into the war, and so the Beast Slayer's Ring is good. And then we did, was it a damage stone since we had already tanked your dodge? Your dodge is really high. How come? You have a 15? Oh, it's because of your armor. Okay, base armor. Well, we're tanking it anyway because I want the extra damage. And if we're going to lower your dodge, I'd rather have the extra 35%. That's fine. Henry Blank, what are you going to be wearing? Do we have a cudgel weight? We do not have a cudgel weight. Okay, well, we need one. We can't take the Houndmaster's Whistle. Only one of those. Bonus dodge, extra speed. Really doesn't matter what trinkets we give Henry Blake here. He's going to walk out of this dungeon in all likelihood totally fine. We could just double up the dodge, give him a little extra bonus speed and more dodge. You know what? Hell yeah, let's do that. Caitlin Stark. Nothing fancy going on here with Caitlin Stark. We're going straight forward, full Blight build. And then for Padme Amidala, again, nothing fancy here. We're going straight on full healing build. So give me some Junia's head here. Are we taking a little bit of additional extra stress in this? Yeah, we are going to get an extra 10%, but the bonus in healing it's remarkably effective. And that just means we need to close this and provision. And somebody right now is be like, holy shit, for once Pete equipped trinkets on the provision screen and just didn't immediately equip Embark. He actually went back in to buy trinkets. And that's because I have a thing on my other monitor that's listed right now that says buy provisions. Just to remind myself. Let's grab 3 shovels, probably enough. 1 key, of course. Take a couple medicinal herbs. Let's take 1 bandage and 1 anti-venom. Yeah, it's fine. And for torches, this is a medium-length mission, so we're just going to take our standard. 14 is probably good. We've been getting a lot more cash lately since the patch. That's one of the things I have noticed. They did up the drop rate for gold. It's considerably less of a grind in the most recent patch to snag your gold than it has previously been.
Progress was halting, and the rapidly accumulating surplus of wasted flesh had become burdensome.
Well, you could have just ground that up and fed it to the folks around the hamlet. I mean, there had to be some disaffected people somewhere who really could have used that food. You had to just throw it away because you're a wasteful douche. So we're going to be going to this room right here then, because it is 4 away, which makes it the most distant possible room from the start location, and thus we know our target is there. So let's go hit it. And if we get done early on this one, go take him out quick, we might poke around this dungeon a little bit. Since we're so vastly over-leveled, there's really no drawback. We're going to protect our hands, grab what's on this rack of rusty blades. We got a buttload of cash. Starting off strong with a fistful of ducats. That's the way I like it. Oh, man, when are they going to make the, gritty reboot of a fistful of dollars? But they got to recast it because it's a fistful of dollars, but they got to modernize it. They urbanize it. That's what they do. You don't set it in the Old West. You set it in Compton. And instead of a fistful of cash, your fistful of dollars, you call it a fistful of ducats. Come on, man. That's genius. Hollywood, where is my money? Bring it to me. It'd be like when they did the Romeo and Juliet reimagining thing with Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes. Come on, a fistful of ducats. It needs to be made. I want to see it. I want to see a fistful of ducats. Both in game form and in, literal form here. So, no surprise. We actually did surprise these spiders. That's a little troublesome, but fortunately we got Caitlin Stark on our side, so while it is a little troublesome, it shouldn't be the end of the world. Let's see if we can get some kills racked up. We shouldn't really have much trouble because, again, we're fighting level 1 monsters, and we are most deciduously not level 1. Go ahead and chuck some poison here. Not a killing blow, but it's probably not going to matter. Dwayne Hicks scores 1. We got 1 man left with 1 health. Padme Amidala is going to take care of that shit for us. All right, Jimmy the Surprise Spider, what do you got? Oh, turns out looks like you're dying, dog. You got fatal damage on you already. What did you get out of it? You managed to do 3 damage to us, and that's it. We cannot cry havoc, so we need to actually get rid of that ability. Let's mark instead. Now we have 1 marked badly debuffed foe. Let's go ahead and throw a heal just to take care of it. And son of a bitch beat us on a speed roll. I was hoping we could get a little stress relief, but it is not to be. 2 deeds, fantastic. We want that portrait as well. Let's eat this food that we're probably not going to need. Pitch the rest on the floor. Give me that portrait. Got a sacrificial stone. Touch this. A sinful behavior is okay, so fear of the oh, that was a good negative quirk to get rid of. It would have been nicer to get rid of kleptomaniac, but you know, who says you can have it all? So we don't need cry havoc because it's not going to work. Lick wounds will work in a second position. I'm going to keep target whistle though. Instead, I want Hound's Harry and Blackjack. We will likely switch this up for the final fight because Blackjack is going to be nigh on useless, but while we're on our way to the final boss, it's going to have some utility. A little scouting as well. Finding the secret room maybe would be delightful. Just throwing that out there, Darkest Dungeon, if you want to toss old Perfidious Pete a secret room. I did bring a key. Grate is empty. No? Okay. Well, burn a torch. And the next fight should be the inchoate flesh. We are good to go. This is now is the time. Here is the place. This is going to be our fight. Pete, are you going to camp before you go in to fight the inchoate flesh to get some extra buffs? You know, I really don't think we're going to need it. I feel like we're probably good. Yes, we could camp for some extra buffs, but it doesn't seem necessary. I'm aware that you're bleeding. I'm going to fix it. I don't want to go into a boss fight with a bleed. I really don't want to go in with the damage or the stress either, but I didn't have a choice because you stepped in a trap, so. Could nosh a bit. You know what? Sure. I'll eat a couple food. That leaves us with 18, which is enough for 2 hunger prompts and a full feast at the camp when we decide to camp. And here's our boy. All right, he's twitching forms. He's gone almost exclusively into heal mode, which is... I forgot to switch skills. It doesn't really matter. The only one we're really interested in is going to be repeatedly Hound's Harry. Speaking of which... that's going to get us some solid aggregate damage and a quad bleed, which is nice, too. Comes the Sanguine Stroke. This is just going to be healing, 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 cross healing. Another Sanguine Stroke. What's hopeful about a stroke? I mean, Sanguine can also mean bloody, and I suppose that technically does apply to a stroke since it is a blood-related disorder. What do you got? An undulating invasion. All right, Padme's taking a little undulating invasion. It's not the first time she's been invaded. She and Anakin had sex that one time. We're going to double up. Yeah, so the blight damage is actually going to do some pretty ruinous work for us on this. We can keep stacking blight damage 2 at a time, which is to say 10 at a time, on the inchoate flesh. It's really going to add up quick. So more double blight. And Hound's Harry is what we're going to be rocking here. The inchoate flesh is looking at having a real bad day. 14 aggregate damage every time it takes an action right now. And that number is only going to increase. Comes the Maws of Life. Dwayne Hicks can take a little chomp to the face. Nothing he can't handle. And remember, we do have nigh on catastrophic levels of healing available if we really need it. A lot of bleed damage, but again, bleed damage is something we can cure as well. Dwayne? I think we'll just go ahead and have the Jacques come in here. 7 damage is not as much as we might have liked. A 20-point critical heal. That's going to patch us up quite nicely. Inchoate Flesh decides to shift forms. I feel like this one's going to be over real quick. No damage out of that, but the double blight. We've now got 30 damage per round ticking on this guy, just in blight damage. And here comes another whole cavalcade of bleeds. He has fatal damage on him right now. Undulating Invasion for Caitlin Stark. She's going to resist that blight because her blight resistance is titanic. Another Maws of Life for Henry Blake, who resisted the bleed. Bone Zephyr coming at Caitlin. With the dodge, though. The Red Widow says nay. Let's go for the Divine Comfort. That's some pretty solid aggregate healing there. And you want to give him a old Jacques there, pal? Actually, which one of you has really bad protection? You have 50, you have 70. 30 back there. You know what? Go for a little single target wallop. And there we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the blight damage has utterly ruined that monster. Burn that torch. I really want the gold here. So long, Dog Biscuit. I don't really feel like we're gonna need you. Yes, I'm aware that we are done, but you know, even though the quest is complete, I feel compelled to keep adventuring here because we're looking good so far. I mean, this team, they don't belong here. There's a reason we're walloping the shit out of this dungeon. We should not be here. We don't belong. You might even be able to make the case that this was a... Here, you're bleeding a whole bunch. Just get rid of that. You might even be able to make a case that this was, in fact, a waste of our higher level troopers' time. And that we would have been better off to go for a higher level mission. But, you know, we're still going to get EXP for doing a medium dungeon, regardless of its difficulty. Why not take the gimme? Again, going to do the Hound's Harry. We're getting some solid work out of that Hound's Harry. It's doing good aggregate damage. Here comes the Doomsay. Stress relief is a bit of a problem for us because we don't have an abundance of it. I think we'll have Dwayne Hicks devote himself entirely to that henceforth. Caitlin has vampiric spirits. You should be able to cure that when we camp, though, right? I believe you have the cure. The hook where it hurts, not doing anybody any problems. Give me a... There we go. We're going to throw some blight at those guys. I want to make sure that we have fatal damage on the stress unit, if nobody else. Comes the Butcher's Cut. Henry Blake takes it to the face. A little bit of a bleed working. Jacques with the critical and the big damage kill. And that should be fatal damage on our friend in the back. Yeah, he's done dealing. No more doomsaying for you, champ. You're all done. We're going to go ahead and cure this bleed. Give me a little Hound's Harry just for shits and giggles. How you like that? Not at all, turns out. 10-point heal from Padme. She's undoing some wrecking damage. Please don't beat us on a speed roll. Okay, well. You know, all I can do is ask, I guess. Ask and ye shall receive, they say. I find that the opposite tends to be true. No key. We're saving the key in case we come across a secret room. And that is, in fact, the entire reason I'm still hanging on to this dungeon. I'm actually just hoping for a secret room. I would love to stumble across one. Let's pick up this curio, hit this trap, and come on over. It's like, you know, we're treating this like a Shania Twain song. Come on over, baby. You know you want to. You know you want to be the little crossover queen of country. What are we going to deke? Anti-venom, probably. It's less useful for curio interactions. We still want to keep that food because we've got hunger prompts potentially as we're wandering around. Who's our trap man? 110% for Henry Blake. Take the stress relief then. That's fine. Henry and radar. Yeah. Scrawling's forever changed the hero. What did we get rid of? Oh, we picked up Cove Explorer. Okay. Not exactly a trait I would have chosen if you gave me a list and said, hey, pick one of these. Which one do you want? If you're offering me Girl Scout cookies, saying, hey, pick your variety there, Pete. Which ones do you like best? You know, I feel like that, if we're making a Girl Scout cookie analogy, those were probably like the tag-along level. And there's nothing wrong with tag-alongs. You know, they're okay, but they're definitely not Samoas. That was not the Samoa of negative quirk removal. It was the tag-alongs. We all know tag-alongs are not as good. What about Thin Mints, Pete? You know, I kind of feel like Thin Mints are overrated a little. They're not bad, and I'll eat them, and I will say they're exceptionally delicious, especially if they've been in the freezer. Frozen... Oh, yeah, they're real good. Frozen Thin Mints. Sorry, I got distracted there for a moment by the thought of getting myself some delicious frozen Thin Mints. They are really good. You have fatal damage on you now, so I don't have to mess with you anymore. And we dodged the stress. Frozen Thin Mints, though, if you haven't tried it, I recommend. Chuck a bag in the freezer next time before you eat some. I mean, it is Girl Scout cookie season coming up here. It's fatal damage for you in a couple different ways. Let's see if we can get some healing and stress relief done here. We're going for the AoE heal because each one of those has a chance to crit, and really all we're looking for here is an opportunity to farm crits. Let's go ahead and target whistle because we don't want to accidentally kill this man. And give you a little bit of more, little more blight grenade, which takes you into the fatal damage category. And then it's heals and stress relief. This guy's gonna beat us on a. He's gonna die though. Oh, he's still out there. Keep me hanging on. Well, good. We dodged. That means Dwayne Hicks can relieve some of his own stress. We want Hicks to have very little stress when he walks out of the dungeon, if possible. We are still trying to bootstrap him up to get him into league with the rest of these guys. Here, take a weight to the face. We were not going to lose enough speed rolls to make that relevant. An abomination trinket. Not really that interested in that. 375 gold for Jade. If we found another piece, we could make that work for us. Let's... you know, it only takes 8 food to feast. You know what? Just drink the holy water. And I'm taking the Jade as opposed to the Lock of Patience. Let's see what's in here. 8 crests. Well, we need to make room for that. We have no barricades left in this dungeon, so let's get rid of those shovels. There are no barricades. Hey, there are no walls for us. Nothing can, nothing's going to keep us down. Nothing's going to hold us back. We're busting on through to the other side. I love the new icon for the torches, though.
A handsome reward.
The new little stanchion, that's some fantastic artwork, Red Hook Studios. Top quality game designing. Been talking a lot about I really feel like Red Hook Studios has got they've had a really strong development cycle for Darkest Dungeon. It's a fantastic game. Early access done to perfection. I'm gushing a little bit about them. But Darkest Dungeon is really good, and it just keeps getting better. It's a good thing that keeps getting better, and you don't encounter that often. Blight damage there. Here comes the Butcher's Cut for Caitlin. As long as it doesn't critical, we'll be alright. You know what? Give me a little bolt from a... Alright. Padme still continues to have issues with managing to drop lightning bolts on people. As long as we don't get diseased, I don't care. She's got a real lightning bolt issue. That's fatal damage for the little drummer boy. Which means we're going to straight up go for the kill on Jimmy the Pig back there. He is done. Is that a 2-point bleed? Yep, you're wrecked, son. Padme, the old ball and chain, taking it to the face there. See, it's funny because she married Anakin Skywalker, so, which would have been his ball and chain. Get it? You're right, it's not funny. This is going to kill you. So you know what? I'm going to target whistle you instead, which doesn't do damage? Okay. You say that actually still might kill him. I didn't want to take a shot on getting a critical there. The critical would have cost us more stress than we could possibly have saved from the stress relief. And we're down to the point where we got to ditch something else in our inventory. All right, medicinal herbs. I guess you're gone in favor of this 400 gold. Or would I rather have, I'd kind of rather have the, am I really going to leave crests? No, I'm going to leave this Jade. I want the crest more than I want 400 gold, but I want the, I'd rather have 400 gold than 375 gold. The free torch. And probably the last torch we're going to need. So the next thing we check on the ground may actually be our torches. We'll take that disarm for the free stress relief. And we got one more room battle, and this is it, doo-wop. You want to know, if this ain't love? Please let me know. When I get stressed, I channel Huey Lewis in the news. We're going to forego damage or the Hound's Harry in favor of the stun, because I don't want to get a disease. 6 damage from the direct accusation for Padme. Not really a problem. Henry Blake takes a hay hook to the ball sack. And then followed by a wicked, the stress from that. Nonsensical. Give me a stun on these two. I don't want to take any more crits. I don't want to take any more stress, period, if I can avoid it. Padme finally managed to connect with the lightning bolt. And we'll stack a little blight damage on y'all. I think we're going to go for the direct damage on Henry Blake and see if we can kill that Doomsayer. With the Blight and Bleed combo, yep, that's going to combine for fatal damage. This man is actually already dead. The dodge from the Butcher's Cut. Now we focus on stress relief exclusively. Let's bring Caitlin down a little bit. She's getting up there. And go for the Divine Comfort. That more than undoes our bleed damage, gets us a little bit back. And we're going to cudgel weight this punk. I don't want anything else out of you, champ. We'll stack some blight on you as well, and then we're going to go for the stress heal while we build up fatal damage. Actually, that not quite fatal, but it's close. Let's do the direct heal. We're just a little low on health. This is our last fight, so arguably that was a bad move. We could have gone for the group heal and tried to get more stress relief. You've got 37, you got 30. Take care of yourself first then, Dwayne. Look out for number 1, buddy. And you're dead then. So that guy never gets another action. As soon as he gets an opportunity to win a speed roll, he is done, son. We'll go ahead and mark him just for shits and giggles. We whistled at him, gave him a little cat's call so he could feel good about himself before we shuffled off this mortal coil. We don't need that shovel. So, we're not going to get anything out of the key, but hey, we may as well come down here, take this curia, which is ultimately just a torch. Disappointing. Yeah, you and your leeches, man. There'll be no blood left for the leeches. So worried about the leeches all the time. What is it with the leeches, Henry Blake? It's always actually meant to disarm that trap so that we could get some free stress relief. And then promptly forgot it was there. Alright, dungeon's over. Let's camp it up. We're going to go for the feast. A little bit of stress relief across the board, and we should be able to, with a zealous speech, pretty much eradicate our stress. You got 8, you got 4, you have 4. So really all we need to do is get rid of a couple. You have the cure, right? Self-medicate. Remove blight or bleeding. Leeches. Yeah, so you have a disease, right? Nope. I mean, I thought you were diseased. Oh, you have vampiric spirits. No diseases. Get a disease? Nope. Okay. So, leeching the companion. You actually can't do it to yourself. That's not what I wanted, but okay. Why is it the plague doctors never seem to be able to actually get the diseases cured on the people that you need diseases cured on? If you need one on yourself, you have every ability that doesn't apply to yourself, and if you need one on someone else, you can only do it to yourself. We have bad luck with our plague doctors. But all things considered, we walloped the holy living shit out of this dungeon. We walked up to that 8-year-old, dropped him with one punch like a bad habit. Just right between the eyes, just one big meaty fist crushing into his little soft, underdeveloped skull. He's laying on the ground, twitching, having a seizure because we've probably done catastrophic brain damage. We're going to jail now, but, you know, it's still pretty satisfying. We also picked up a little EXP for, you know, both parties, which is, you know, it's respectable. Warren's Tactician, bonus damage in the Warrens. Dwayne Hicks coming along nicely. Henry Blake is a natural swing, bonus accuracy, fantastic. And extra Warren's damage for Caitlin Stark as well, though that disease is going to have to go. Padme picked up nothing, which I am 100% comfortable with. If I could walk out of every dungeon with no quirks and diseases, like no positive quirks, no negative quirks, I'd be perfectly content. Eat the rich. Idle grave robbers are going to gain 1 resolve. That's beautiful. That'll let Sophia get up to level 2. And you know what? Suddenly, if she's at level 2, that puts us back in a range to make the party we wanted with Nick Bradshaw. We'll have Wash, we'll have Maud Flanders, we'll have Nick Bradshaw, and we'll have an idle Sophia to fill it in. And Gwen Stacy, who was taken out of action, is suddenly right back in the mix. Plus, Hicks is up to level 3, which gives us our A-team back. Solid. Okay, you know, things were looking grim there when Gwen Stacy bought the farm, but it feels like they're coming back around. Maybe the worm has turned. Caitlin Stark, though, you're not going to be going on to our next mission because we're going to get rid of this. Are you? You know what? No. I think this team is probably going to be going on our next mission. Let's just instead give you the ability that lets you cure your own diseases. Where's the one that lets you cure yourself? Self only. Yeah. Do that. I know how camping skills work, thank you. And we went to... Okay, good. All right. I think this team's going to go in... You know, we should actually just consider, if we're going to be running with this team on a dedicated basis, we should just consider looking at camping skills. Zealous Vigil is one I want because it prevents nighttime ambush. Blake, what do you got? Man's Best Friend, pretty good. Hound's Watch... also prevents nighttime ambush and takes less time. Let's take that. Man's Best Friend is reasonable if you need self-stress relief. Padme, what do you got here? Didn't care. Pep Talk. Pray. Also prevents nighttime ambush, but more importantly, it's huge stress relief if we have... Really, though, I would like... Don't you have something else that removes mortality debuffs? I thought you did. Sanctuary is fantastic if you have the mortality debuff because it heals you a shitload and gives you massive stress relief. I think we're going to tank Sanctuary as well. What about me? What about Shane? Well, I hate to break it to you, Shane, but it looks like you're going to get left behind. Do we want to do any quick upgrades? We might as well do some quick upgrades. Skills are good. Make sure everybody is in full fighting trim. All right, all our skills are good. What about the old blacksmith here? Can we do armor and weapons? Actually, we may be at the limit of what we're allowed to upgrade for armor and weapons now that I think about it. So, can we upgrade our blacksmith any? We have 15 deeds, which is nowhere near enough. But what we do have is 106 crests. It feels like we got to get rid of some of those. So if we're swapping crests for deeds, let's go ahead and start cranking this bad boy up. We can get 10, 12, 24 deeds is a lot. For 72? Let's do that. That brings us much more closer to parity, and now we should be able to upgrade probably our weapons at a minimum. Let's do... I would rather have weapons than armor. Oh, we traded away one too many crests, huh? Do I want to trade back for crests? I mean, every time we're trading, we are trading at a loss. You know what? Nah, that's fine. We can hold off. We'll come across one crest. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this episode up, though. I think we're done. Feeling better about the way things are going. You know, we're how many weeks in here? We're in week 22, so we're just about 1/4 of the way done entirely. Maybe a little under 1/4 of our total availability. And I feel overall like we still have a chance. Not necessarily as good a chance as I once thought, but I still think a chance exists. And if a chance exists, I'll take it. It's also my dating philosophy. You know, if there's a shot, as long as you're alive, you got to fight. You know, you got it. As long as you got a little bit of living life left in you, there's always a chance that you could get somebody drunk enough to make a mistake and take you home. So I'm going to wrap this one up. If you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like down in the comment section. Of course, your support does really mean a lot to us. And if you'd like to be Perfidious Pete's drunken mistake, you might consider subscribing as well. I promise I won't take too terribly difficult advantage of you. You know, just I'll try and give as good as I get. I'll try. I'm not making any promises, but I'll try. Right now, though, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you on a barroom floor.